This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Deep breathing has been proven to be an effective tool for reducing stress and anxiety. Breathwork, or the practice of conscious controlled breathing, can reduce oxidative stress by increasing oxygen intake and decreasing levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, in the body. This promotes balance and helps to protect our bodies from inflammation and cell damage associated with free radical production. It can also help with insomnia and sleep disruption by calming the central nervous system, CNS. When our CNS is in a relaxed state, melatonin production increases, which helps us get better quality sleep. Studies have also shown that deep breathing can help reduce blood pressure and increase circulation, both of which are important for overall health. And finally, regular breathwork can help develop greater awareness of self and allow us to better manage our daily stressors and lifestyle choices. Breathwork can help us heal past traumas and release challenging emotions that may be causing unhealthy lifestyle choices that contribute to oxidative stress. Valeria interviews Samantha Skelly. She is the author of Hungry for Happiness: Stop Emotional Eating and Start Loving Yourself. Samantha Skelly is the founder and CEO of the multi-million-dollar breathwork and wellness company, Pause Breathwork. She's a highly sought-after international speaker, best-selling author, and coaching expert with a heart-centered approach to life and business. A leading authority on trauma healing and stress release, Samantha has made it her life's mission to rid the world of anxiety so people can thrive using the power of their breath. Through Pause's signature trauma-informed somatic coaching program, breathwork facilitator training, and live events, she provides uniquely accessible somatic and emotional healing resources while also equipping clients with the tools and strategies to create and scale their own six-figure wellness businesses. She has trained and certified thousands of facilitators in over 27 countries in the power of breathwork, and thousands more using the Pause Breathwork mobile app worldwide. With a mission of helping 1 million people by 2030, Samantha started examining the underlying causes of anxiety, trauma, and stress in 2014 with her first Hay House best-selling book, eventually growing the movement into the comprehensive wellness brand that Pause is today, supporting over 10,000 clients in 30-plus countries worldwide. Her sustainable healing solutions have revolutionized the self-help industry, challenging the old Band-Aids on bullet wounds approach that kept people trapped in the yo-yo effect. Samantha is also the host of the Can't Be Contained, a top-rated podcast which has had millions of downloads over the last 5 years. Meet Samantha at pausebreathwork.com and samanthaskelly.com. Here's the interview with Samantha Skelly.
In your own words, who is Samantha Kelly?
I am a disco ball that loves to have fun and shine my light and inspire people to remember who they actually are.
Wow. What's not to love about that? Thank you. How did you discover this journey, this path of being you?
You know, So I grew up as a dancer and a child actress, and I was always feeling like quite disconnected from myself and quite disconnected from God and quite disconnected from my passion. And I ended up having like a lot of anxiety as a young girl, a lot of disordered eating, body image issues, that kind of thing. And when I was about 18 years old, I was reading the book Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she talks about, going to Bali, finding the medicine man. And so I did that. And I had a session with him. And after that session, I realized like, wow, I'm living from my head constantly. And he even said that to me. He said, you think too much. You need to go meditate. I remember, this was 15 years ago, I remember going to a meditation school and realizing like, I don't like meditation. This is so hard, just like sitting here and not doing anything. And then I went to this one school, and there was no meditation class, but there was a breathwork class. And I thought to myself, well, what is that? What is breathwork? And I just decided to just hop in and try it and see what happens. And it's been an amazing journey. I realized in that class, like, wow, we are our own drug. We are the remedy. We have the keys. We have the ability to heal our bodies through our breath, and we've just forgotten. So my mission now is bringing breathwork to the world through my company, Pause Breathwork. So it's been a beautiful journey.
Yes, it feels like, it sounds like, and it is amazing. Yes, I've been in touch with your work, not just the visuals and reading and the informational, all that information, but energetically too. It's really beautiful in alignment with, I would say, divine design. You mentioned the word God. What is your idea of God, of the divine? What comes to mind?
I feel like God for me is in everything. God is consciousness. God is our ultimate power. God is the fabric of the intelligence in the world. And it's this deep connection to source. It's almost hard to put words to it because it's this power, this source, this ever-present, omnipresent power that runs to us and through us. And we are all vessels for God. And I'll use the word God, but we can use the word spirit or source or whatever it is. But I use the word God. And, I really believe like I am a vessel for that. I'm a vessel for that intelligence. I'm a vessel for God. And through the energy that I receive, I create content and I write books and I create productions, and I have this company and I train people to become breathwork facilitators. And I really believe that it's God moving through me moment by moment.
Yes, a billion yes to that.
Billion yes.
To that dance. Yeah, I love that you're a dancer too. I came across that information, but I forgot because I used that word dance, the metaphor.
I know, I love that you do that.
There's something about when we know that creation, creator, and then creativity. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of reflecting God, right? The divine by being creative. So it's not a surprise to me that you're flowing like this. And I have to say that I am too. I love to give myself. I do that a lot. There's almost like as a prayer or a mantra. I just give myself to you. As like you said, as a vessel. Yeah.
I can feel that.
So on your website, it says, we were not born to experience constant stress and anxiety. I read that there. So where does it come from? Why have we become so stressed and so anxious and so fearful, Samantha?
I feel like we've just forgotten who we are. We have these survival strategies that are in our minds that is telling us, all of these thoughts all day long to, keep us safe. And there's intelligence to that, right? There's intelligence that says, don't jump in front of that car, don't do this or whatever it is. But we've kind of taken it too far. And now that part of us stops us from expansion, right? And we need expansion in order to thrive. We need we need to be constantly evolving. And if we're not constantly evolving, we're going to feel stressed. We're going to feel stagnant. We're going to feel exhausted. We're going to feel like life doesn't matter. There's no meaning. There's no purpose, right? And so it's so important that we constantly move past that voice that says don't do it and evolve, evolve with our relationships, lean into relationships, get uncomfortable, evolve with our money and, repair the relationships we have to money, evolve in our businesses. I really believe that business is a spiritual practice.
Right.
And when we can learn to use it as a spiritual practice and as personal development, then we are constantly evolving in our business. And so it's just, there's so many beautiful ways in which we can do this. And it's just allows us to step out of the constant chronic anxiety that most of the world is living in and realize like, oh, there's another way. There's a better way to do this. And let me explore that. Like, what does it feel like to feel infinite joy every single day? What does it feel like to be, fueled by bliss? What does it feel like to be in a constant state of service and gratitude? What does it feel like to know that I'm connected to everything, everywhere, all at once? What does it feel like to know that all my needs are met in abundance and all I have to do is use my breath and realize that I am so deeply connected? So it really comes down to a choice every single day.
Wow. Yes. Wow. The choice, right? No, I resisted that idea, something in the mind of choosing, because I was really I was focused on surrendering and just kind of living a life that's a choiceless life.
Right.
I'm just being guided. But now I don't know, something's changing and I don't know what it is, but it feels like we have, let's say, free will to a certain extent. And then after that, if we wanted to expand it in the way that you have just beautifully expressed, infinite joy and experience the beauty of life, then we need God's help.
Absolutely.
Because our will is not really, it won't get, I mean, it feels that way. I don't know if is that something that resonates with you somehow? I've been reflecting upon this lately.
No, there's some really beautiful science coming out right now where when we are connected to source, when we are connected to something greater than us, it gives us meaning and purpose.
Right.
And with meaning and purpose, we have the ability to live lives of freedom, And so I genuinely believe that our connection to God is the most important connection that we have. And if we don't have that, what else do we have,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank you for saying that as a confirmation too, because that's here already. Yeah, imprinted in me. So when you speak about growing, evolving, and then running businesses that are in alignment, is that something that becomes a practice in a way? Is that an offering? Is a devotional path? It feels like a devotional type of path. We are offering what we do, what we say, our thoughts to God. Is that does it make sense to you to
definitely
view it that way?
Yeah, I definitely feel like our businesses are, vessels to change the world. I feel like they're very spiritual for us if we look at it that way. And I have an acronym for business, which is called LIFE: lucrative, impactful, fun, and easy. And it's actually a mastermind that I run on an annual basis where, women who want to do business in this new way, honoring their femininity, honoring their godlike energy, honoring their power, come together and we really learn how to run our businesses from feminine energy, not hustle and force. And I really believe that when we do it in that way, it becomes energy rich. There's so much creativity, there's so much love, there's so much passion, there's so much power, and it really ignites the world into something absolutely extraordinary.
Yes. A billion times again. What's not to love about that? And it feels so much like even the breath, like using the breath as a metaphor. It's just easy, isn't it? Simple. It's innate. It's already there. It's not something that we have to try hard to do or to be being. So that that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So. Is there such a thing as, let's say, the balance between those energies, the feminine and the masculine, where we can tap into both when we need them? or we are constantly integrating them into everything we do? How do you see that
That's
dance?
a really great question. There's times in my life where I am fully in my feminine and fully surrendered. But the times where I feel most powerful is when I actually have my masculine and feminine energies beautifully co-nourishing each other, And, I think when I'm a dancer, right? So when I'm dancing, the masculine holds the count, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. But the feminine is the movement between the counts, right? When I'm cooking in my kitchen and I've got the music on and the candles and, I'm adding things and tasting things and dancing around and having fun. That's the feminine, right? The play, let me taste all the flavors. Let me, whatever. But then the masculine is like, let's make sure that the oven's at 450 and it's in 50 minutes. There's a structure, right? Because it's like, if it was totally flow, I would like burn my food. Right. And, in our businesses as well, like there's a part of my business that is very structured, right? We have a very structured strategy where, once a month we have a big event. That big event drives traffic to our core offer. That core offer is our bread and butter of our business. And from there, so there's like strategy, but then I get to flow, I mean, even being here with you, it's like, there's a freedom and a flow to the conversation and, we're going back and forth and we're flowing. And, earlier today I went on Instagram Live and I taught breathwork and I didn't plan it. I was like, what feels good here in this moment? And then there's other times where I'm like, okay, I need to plan a presentation for tomorrow and I need, slides to do that. So I have the slides and I have the presentation, but then I flow the energy. So it's really, I think when we're our most powerful is when we're flowing.
Yes. Yeah. So it goes back to the flow, which again, it relates to breath. Yeah. To breathing. That's beautiful. Yes. Samantha, I have heard this before that really resonated with me about the feminine energy and the masculine when they come together, and then this flow, I think happens, but I think the word was a different one, the concept. And then somebody said, but then it feels like a dance, two people dancing, like the feminine and the masculine. But in the end, if you really pay attention to it, there's just the dance. So there's no one really, but just the dance itself, which is flow, I guess. And then to me, that would be God. Because there's just God. Only God exists. That's, for me, it has been not just a guiding principle, but wow, it's beyond a concept. It's a perception of reality. It's truth with capital T. So I can't really ignore that and go into concepts of choosing one side or another. So it's easy for me to kind of focus on seeing everything as God. Everything, every single thing.
Absolutely.
And that, of course, that helps a lot with what I do and all these things. But we are all different and we all are at a different level. So I see the practices like breath work, meditation, and so many other beautiful practices help different people. Speaking of your work specifically, when you pause breath work, so the pause, that word has a lot of power too. It commands us to be present. That's for me, that's what it says. Almost on your website, the word pause is everywhere, like big. So it's almost like asking us to do exactly that. Pause, listen, be here. Was that the intention when you created the?
It's like just taking a pause, pressing pause on life. Like in our logo, the pause signal or sign is literally in our logo, right? So it's like press pause.
Yes, in the middle.
Okay, press pause here and allow yourself to just experience the goodness that we have from not running away, but just being here. Right? Just being here in this moment and soaking in the goodness and soaking in the richness of just this moment. Our intuition is the intelligent whisper that is always there, but we can't hear it if we're busy. Right. We have these three things that communicate to us: our mind, our emotions, and our intuition. Our mind is go, 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 always, always, always busy, 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 right? Our emotions are up and down, the sensations, and, those aren't reliable. And then we have this intuition, this like place of just like pure truth. Like, yes, this is it. And for us to really be connected to that energy that we've been talking about, we have to pause. We have to breathe. We have to realize that there's something so much bigger, so much better. And so it's just pausing is the prerequisite for us to have a beautiful life.
Yes. Yes, yes. Again, another billion times that truth. Yes, has been my own experience and so many other people that I talk to here. So when it comes to intuition, the pause and then intuition, which it feels to me like listening and then being inspired by silence. That is not really silent. It's coming from silence. So is that connected? I've been introduced to the idea of the soul. Is that connected to the soul's journey or purpose when we are listening?
I believe so. I believe that, our soul is this wise intelligence inside of our body. That if we get quiet enough and we get still enough, we can actually hear the whispers of the soul, which I believe is very connected to God, very connected to our hearts, very connected to inspiration. And, the mind, I think, tries to sort of like categorize, soul, spirit, heart.
Yes.
But I feel like for me, it's like, it's hard to categorize. It's hard to put in a box and explain it. It's like this isness. It's this energy, this power that's just ever present and always here.
Yes. I love to hear that because that's one of my that's my guide really, that everything is God. But then when it comes to navigating this reality, we need duality because it's multiplicity and within ourselves, the body, the mind, and then within the body, there's so much happening, right? And then the mind, there's so much happening there too, emotions, thoughts, memories, and all that. So navigating these changing realities that to me, they feel like they are temporary, which they are. They are not permanent. So it kind of helps to use the concepts. And I love beautiful concepts. I'm in love with them for some reason.
Too.
Soul, intuition, all these things, peace, heal, grow, all these things, happiness. Like the title of your book, it had your company actually too in your book. Everything's so inspiring. Hungry for Happiness, so that's your company. And then Pause, Breathwork, and then the interesting thing was your podcast. So I'm kind of was looking into the words and the concepts. Host of the Can't Be Contained podcast.
Can't be contained, baby.
Yeah, that kind of stopped me. I had to pause there. Can't be contained. So is that, I would love to hear from you. What was the inspiration for this specific concept of cannot be contained? Yeah.
So I believe that when we do breath work, when we do somatic coaching, when we are really getting to know ourselves, right? We really are getting to know ourselves. We're really like understanding this being that is in this physical body, and we meet ourselves. Well, when we meet ourselves, we feel this incredible energy. We feel this remembrance, like, oh, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I believe that when we do that, we can't be contained anymore. We have to share. We have to move. We have to there's so much energy that gets to be poured in the world and creativity. Yeah. The containment happens when we don't know ourselves. We're following a path that's not ours. We're following a role that's not who we are. We're people pleasing. We're self-sacrificing. We're self-abandoning, and all these things. Then we're not truly who we are.
Right. Gosh. And there are so many humans experiencing this container of being contained in a box. And
yes.
Gosh, this is something it feels like a paradox, because once you experience, or you realize freedom, then you become free almost instantly.
For sure.
And then you see everything as the
Mm-hmm.
expression of God, and God would be something that's freedom itself too. So everything's happening because unconditional love, because freedom, that's what happens, an explosion of everything dancing, moving as it should. So it feels like a contradiction to try to change that. It's almost like, I don't know. Have you thought about this? Trying to help others to heal or to change when everything actually looks and feels perfect.
It's perception, right? It's it's like changing perception. Because when we change people's perception, everything is perfect.
Right.
The only thing that distorts reality to say that it's not perfect is our mind. Right? So if we learn how to change reality through changing our perception, which is only changing what is existing and occurring in our bodies, then we can literally create heaven on earth.
Right. Yes.
Right.
So this is so you've been doing this work, which seems like I'm doing this work too for that reason. So others can experience that too. So
Absolutely.
It's like passing on the not even the gift, because it was never given to us. It's innate. It was always here. We just have uncovered. We just have realized it.
Exactly.
Gosh, Samantha, I could talk to you forever about that, but I have to move on to some other topics within your work, your offerings, because there are so many. You have written a book titled Hungry for Happiness, Stop Emotional Eating and Start Loving Yourself. So for some reason, immediately the message for me was loving yourself and start loving yourself. That it feels like a practice to me. Do you feel that way too? Or you are in a place now where self-love, it's not a practice anymore?
It depends. There's such seasons. Life is so seasonal, just like the seasons of life. There's what I've learned is even when life is amazing, we still must practice self-love and practice self-care. Because if life is amazing and we're in the summer of our life, so to speak, and we're like, everything's amazing. And we're like, I don't need to meditate. I don't need to breathe. I don't need to do any of this stuff. I don't need to journal. I'm just going to have a good time. And then winter comes and we're out of practice. So I really believe that we must stay in practice and we must stay consistent, and we must allow ourselves to be committed and dedicated to evolving in the light, right? And I believe that we do that through our practices. For me, 2 of my non-negotiables that I do in my life is 20 minutes of breath work every single day. And then I do a cacao ceremony where I just make a cup of cacao.
I love that.
And I sit and I just meditate and I listen. And it's been revolutionary for me in my life.
Wow, it feels that way. I love that. There's something about the cacao ceremony. I've never done it, but it feels like, it seems like I do it every day in my own way because I use the cocoa powder when I do my smoothies and everything. And then that comes to mind, like, oh, this is a ceremony. But I talked to a lot of people, and then some shamans that they told me, oh, maybe it's a calling for the heart, to expand the heart for love. I don't know. Is that what it is?
For sure. Yeah. It opens up the heart. It opens up the lens of the heart so we can really hear ourselves.
Right. Yeah. So that's a message. And that's so inspiring. So going back to what you do. So the book, what the message was beyond self-love and self-care. So you also talk about emotion. I didn't read the book, so I'm just going by the title. Stop Emotional Eating. And that has to do with your own challenges. Is that correct? You went. Talk to me for a moment about that. What is the who would be the perfect, let's say, reader for your book, Hungry for Happiness?
Somebody who struggles with their relationship to food and their relationship to their body. Someone who uses food as a drug. Someone who doesn't realize that, in order to feel better, we have to be better feelers. Someone who wants to rediscover their intuition and learn to really love, appreciate, honor these bodies, these vessels. Someone who's suffering in silence and not knowing how to break free. It's a beautiful book, a beautiful journey to really wake the world up to understand that our bodies are so intelligent and they're always speaking to us. They're always guiding to us. So how do we develop these rock solid relationships so that we can open up and let go?
Right. Yeah. And that's something that so many people say, it sounds very simple. Listen to your body. Listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds so simple, but we don't often do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then because within the subject, you offer training for somatic coaching certification, right, Samantha? That's part of one of your offerings too, services. Is that the reason? Is that you had your own experience? Let's say you when you see, because somatic, there's so many different kinds. Do you use a specific one with this training, or from your own experience? I'd love to hear more about the types of somatic training and coaching.
So breathwork is a huge somatic tool, right? And it's all like when we look at like the world of somatics, there's so many different types, like you just said, right?
Yeah.
So I love using breathwork as a modality. I love using parts work. I love understanding that there's so many different parts of us that all have different emotional needs and different protectors. And when we can learn to actually identify what those emotional needs are, we begin to heal the protector so we can live more as our true self and not under our survival strategies. So often our personalities are our survival strategies. And it's so important to acknowledge that, you know, we are these infinite beings. And when we release and heal our survival strategies, we come back into a place of just pure power.
Yeah. Yes. Gosh, that makes so much sense. Parts work, that's another modality that's so insightful. I've talked to a lot of people about it, and it just makes a lot of sense to me. But I have heard that there are so many parts of us, though. Is that I wonder if we, in the end of our journey, if there is a destination for healing, we can integrate, we can heal all these parts, or healing in the sense of making them, transforming them into something that is that something that we envision good. Let's say, you know, the idea of good and bad, because from my understanding, it seems like we need these parts too. The ones that the survival ones, they are supposed to become our partners in a way, and not just try to transform them into something that doesn't really care about survival.
Yeah.
Because that'll be interesting, but I don't think that can happen. How do you see this? Yeah. I'll leave it to you.
So I love saying, if that part didn't overwork, if that part didn't get aggressive, if that part didn't overeat, if that part didn't, like, what role could you give that part? You know, because a lot of these survival strategies are created out of a place of pure intent. I just need to protect this person, right?
Yes.
But they were started when we were so much younger. So we haven't taken the time to go like, that's not who I am. That's a part of me. And that part needs to be healed. And then once we do that, we can give these parts other jobs. Like, hey, rather than overworking, take that time, sit in your backyard with a cup of cacao and just listen. Rather than being aggressive and angry, take that time to actually feel the rage and transmute it into something powerful. Rather than projecting your emotions or being jealous, find out what is inspiring you about that person that's not yet alive in you. Like, there's so many ways that we can use our parts that we deem as unacceptable or whatever it is for growth and for healing and for love.
Yes. Again, yes, gosh, I love your wisdom. It's timeless. It really, really is. I say hear that often because it's just true. It's timeless. As long as we are in these bodies, we will need this wisdom. And talk to me for a moment now about breath work versus meditation. I know breath work is the new yoga, you put it. So it feels like a meditation to me, though, when I am doing breath work. But
it is a meditation. It's just an active meditation. Right? There's passive meditation where we're like sitting there in lotus position, right? Calming our thoughts. And then there's an active meditation, which is breath work. and like really moving it through, right? There's an act of doing in order to get into a place of being. So for people who say they can't meditate, for people who have ADHD, for people who have a very busy mind, breathwork is a really beautiful place to start.
Right. Yes. Gosh. Yeah. I love the way the sound. I can't help it, but the way you just did now the breath and the way. Yeah. Are you? Is that through your mouth? When
So
you
that breath that I just did is
exhale.
into the belly, up into the chest, out through the mouth. Okay. So 2 in through the mouth and 1 out.
Right. Wow, it feels really good. Oh. Yeah, it relaxes you immediately.
Right. We can we can do like 3 minutes for your listeners if you want to.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are driving, don't do this, but if you're at home, follow along with us. When you're ready, closing down your eyes, dropping your shoulders, allowing the mind to find its way into the heart. Feeling your body on the chair underneath you. The breath is into the belly through the mouth, up into the chest, and out through the mouth. It sounds like this. So when you're ready, you can join and realize that the pacing is completely up to you. However you want, however fast you want to go, just listen to your body. Now taking a deep breath in through the nose. Holding at the top. And releasing the breath when you're ready. And just feeling what is here now. The openness, the love. That's it. How do you feel now?
No
Pretty
more
different, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Wow. Yes, I got to do this more often. The body's
I
saying,
know, that's what
I need
everyone
that.
says. Mm.
Wow. The hands, they feel numb. It's like ticklish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's almost like an activation type of
totally.
right. It is, the whole body becomes activated. And
Mm,
yeah,
mhm,
it's the blood
mhm.
flow. It feels like everything's flowing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So this is I mean, this is for everything. It's a holistic practice. It's not just for
Got it.
spirituality
You
or
got it.
healing, but
Yeah.
it's for health in general, well-being. It's I mean, it's everything.
Mhm,
Amazing.
mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Samantha. I do this like naturally, like when I wake up and throughout the
Mm,
day. But I
mm.
usually use the nose through the nose. I don't ever breathe. Maybe somebody said
Oh,
that to
yeah,
me,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then why see, because I talked to a lot of people and they all have different techniques and
Mm.
then yoga practitioners too. And then I asked them these questions, meditation teachers, and somebody said here, you do not breathe through your mouth.
Mm.
And is that something that is just varies? How do you feel about these
So we don't
instructions?
want to chronically breathe through our mouth. We want
Right.
to, if we're sleeping or we're, during our day,
Yeah.
breathing through your mouth isn't good to do chronically. However,
Right.
when we're doing breath work and we're using the breath to open up, the mouth has more capacity, right?
It
Brings
does.
in more energy, so it intensifies our breath work. Now, we don't have to do intense breath work. We can get transformations without intense breath work, but breathing through your mouth is totally fine if you're not doing it chronically every single day.
Mm, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the clarification. It's very
Yeah,
clear and it makes a lot of
yeah,
sense to me.
yeah.
Yes. And I will do it now from now on as an intense, yeah, wow,
Mm.
that wakes up everything.
Right? It's amazing, isn't
Yeah, it is amazing. Wow. So I know you have an app too.
it?
So this is
Mhm.
good for the listeners to know. Let me see. It's the same, the Pause
Pause breathwork.
Breathwork
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a free 14-day trial. So if you have an Apple or Android, just plug it in and there you go.
Yes. So it's simple. Yeah, very simple to
Yeah.
do. And it's on your website. I have the links here. I
Yes.
wanted to mention that though. Where's my
Yes.
links? Over here. Yes, it's pausebreathwork.com. It will be clickable on the podcast notes too. And then within the Pause Breathwork offerings, you also train other facilitators to do
Mm-hmm.
the same, to
Mm-hmm.
add, as you said, to
Yep.
their toolbox. I love
Yes.
that too. So
Yeah.
how does it work?
We train people to become breathwork facilitators. So for those of you who are interested, just go to pausebreathwork.com/facilitator. And it's a 6-month journey to turn you into a masterful trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. We then also teach you how to build a breathwork business, take on clients, make money doing what you love. So for those people who have always known that they've wanted to help people, they want to be of service, but they haven't found that vehicle to do that yet, definitely check that out. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to
Yeah.
know, and I'll have you too. So, and then I want to mention the Life Mastermind. That's another. Is this something that's different from the breath work, the Pause Breath Work facilitator training, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another.
That is the Pause Breathwork facilitator training. Yeah.
Oh, it's the same. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
Life Mastermind, the same. And then you have the 21-day embodiment journey. Is that also?
Well, I'm sorry. The Life Mastermind is my 12-month mastermind. So this is for female entrepreneurs and leaders who want to do business in the new way. So LIFE stands for lucrative, impactful, fun, and easy. And that's my acronym for business. So this is for 6-figure female entrepreneurs who want to scale to 7 figures and do it in a way that feels really good on their body and nourishing on their soul. So that's my high-end mastermind.
Okay, so that's good to
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
have all of them here. Let me say I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And then you have the Awakened Wealth. That's another offering.
Yeah,
And
we have like little master classes, but the two big things are either the mastermind or the breathwork facilitator program.
Okay, those two. So
Yeah.
that's good to know. I know you have a shop. There's another page here with the shop. We'd have merchandise, hats, teas. That's something
Totally.
else too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was just
Pause
trying to
Breathwork
explore everything.
swag.
Yes, it comes with the territory of
Exactly.
beautiful. And then I
Yeah.
love there's something that you say, energy over strategy. That's something that caught my attention. Yes.
Yeah, energy
Beautifully
over
put.
strategy, realizing that when we prioritize our energy above everything else works out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're almost at the end. I also want to mention everything that caught my attention. I love the scaling with soul. That's
Scaling with soul.
Scaling
Yeah.
with soul. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah, that's my
helping me.
concept, like a concept that I teach in the Life Mastermind, where we don't need to scale with force and hustle and that like distorted masculine energy. We can scale using our soul. We can build our businesses using our soul.
Yes. Okay. So it's everything. It's connected, of course. Yeah, it comes from the same place. And then the concept that you are the drug. You are the drug. You are your own drug.
Yeah.
That's also fascinating because a lot of people don't know. It feels to me like we are. Yeah, in this plane, in the natural world, Earth, we have. It comes with both aspects: the problem and the solution. Isn't it? It gives us both. It's somewhat. It feels like a play to me, Samantha. Yes, doesn't it? Now we come here to play with problems, and then
I really think so. And the more that we embody that ability to play and give ourselves permission to play, the more fun we're going to have. We're only on this planet for a short amount of time. We might as well have a good time.
Yes, I agree 1,000,000,000%. Yes, easier said than done because then we have to do the healing work. And that's why you have so many offerings here that really help. So I want to mention the website, so pausebreathwork.com. And then I have another one with your name, so SamanthaKelly.com. Should I have both there, or because I'll have them on in the podcast notes? Should I have both, or just
just go pausebreathwork.com and Samantha. Yeah, just go pausebreathwork.com, and then my Instagram is at Samantha Skelly, SKELLY.
Okay, so we have that too. So I'll have those two. Let me just make a note of that. So Instagram and your website will be here, clickable, so it's easy. You don't have to memorize it. Thank you so much for your beautiful energy, beautiful presence in our reality, and for saying yes to life and flowing with it the way you do, in a grateful way, in a graceful and grateful way. It's interesting that came to me, those two words together, graceful and great.
So good. Thank you so much. You're incredible to be with. Your energy is so calming, and it's been a real joy being with you today. So thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. And we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch again. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Samantha Skelly and her work, please visit pausebreathwork.com and samanthaskelly.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.